Johnson is at third base. There's Kaz Matsui. Got to visit with him a little bit earlier today. He's doing well. He always has a smile on his face.
Well, there's a lot of hugs going around between the players on the Rockies and Kaz.
Kaz was a tremendous part of that 07 run. There's a strike from Ubaldo. And he did a lot of damage at Coors Field. He's a lifetime .348 hitter at Coors Field. They'd like him to be a little healthier this year. It was one of the concerns with the Rockies in terms of giving him a long-term deal because of all the back issues. Last year he played in 96 games. Yeah, a little more than half. And this year he's already missed 4 with some back issues.
That's the thing that scares you.
And a nice play by Ian Stewart. You got to hustle the way Matsui runs. 4-3 on the putout. And we check in with Alana Rizzo, our Mike Shaw auto update. Alana?
Thanks very much, Drew. A little bit more on Troy Tulowitzki. As you mentioned earlier, he is in the lineup tonight. I talked to head trainer, Keith Duggar today about Tulowitzki and what he did to know that he was ready to go out there today. And he said he came out, Scotty Garrett, the assistant trainer, ran him, and he said he did some striders, he ran simulated bases, and they made him take ground balls in batting practice. He said those were the things that we needed to evaluate in order to make sure that he was okay. Obviously, they felt that he looked good enough to be able to be penciled in the lineup today. Now, Tulo got hurt with a left quad strain in the 6th inning on Sunday's game, didn't come out until the 9th game, elected to get some rest over the weekend, had treatment right after that game on Sunday, so it looks like he's good to go, guys.
Well, that's great news because, you know, anytime you talk about a muscle strain, usually you're going to err on the side of caution. There's going to be a couple of days off, and Tulo is back out there. He said he was going to be back out there Sunday. I didn't quite believe him. Look at this infield hit from Michael Bourne. What'd you time him at getting up the line? Oh, here's the injury.
The injury. This is the one with Aaron Cook where he throws and Troy has to plant on that leg and then go back the other way, and that's anytime you make that sudden movement, that's where you have the possibility of an injury coming in.
What did you time Bourne up the line?
I timed him at 3.91 going down the line.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why it was an infield hit. Here's Lance Berkman. Berkman missed the 3 ball games on the weekend. He has a sore wrist. He hurt it on a check swing. I was talking to him about it, and he said it happened when he made the final out of a ball game on Thursday, and he was so mad that he made the final out. He didn't realize he was hurt till the next morning and woke up and it was really stiff. He's you know what, he's a funny guy. He's very self-deprecating. He's kind of a little like Helton, and they're good friends. I asked him, you know, so you're going to eclipse the 18 stolen bases you had last year? I mean, nobody would think, looking at Lance Berkman, he's going to steal 18 bags. He goes, I got to get on first to be able to steal. 2-0 on Berkman. Of course, Lance, an uncharacteristic 184 average here on May the 12th.
Well, that's the thing, too, is he already has over 100 at-bats now, 103 at-bats total. And for him to, you look up there at 184, that's just so unlike him. But you know, at the end of the year, you know where he'll be, right around that 300 mark.
It's now 3-0 on Berkman. Let's take a look at our Bird Auto keys to the game, Jeff.
Well, the Astros veterans, I mentioned them, Berkman, Tejada, Rodriguez, Carlos Leatham, the bullpens. Both bullpens have been solid, but no Valverde.
No throw. It was in there for a strike. I kind of figured Bourne may run on that pitch.
Well, yeah, and my third key was no running game. And what I meant by that is more on the Rocky side with Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. But Michael Bourne, when he gets out there, he can get after it. That's his 11th stolen base now on the season.
Now a 3-1 pitch on Berkman. Ground ball, comebacker, and Ubaldo's got him hung up.
All the way back.
Atkins did a good job, and Berkman did a good job moving up to second base. So Michael Bourne got hung up, but he stayed in the rundown long enough to ensure, and that's why he's getting high fives, to ensure that they got another runner to scoring position.
Yeah, this is a tough play. When it goes to that side, you think that he's going to get by him, and then you got to stay in the rundown long enough for Berkman to still replace you out at second base. And you might have heard me say run him all the way back. I was referring to Garrett Atkins running Michael Bourne all the way back to second base since Berkman was already there, but he didn't have to. He was able to make the tag.
So now you got to get the hottest hitter in their lineup, Carlos Lee, and a quick strike on Lee at 98 miles an hour. Lee was solid in April. He hit 253. Nothing to be ashamed of. He's hitting 500 in May.
And this is where he really excels with runners in scoring position, 2 out. He'll just look to take the ball the other way. And you think a big guy like Carlos Lee, I mean, he does have the ability to hit home runs like you see this one on Sunday. But what he is also very adept at doing is taking the ball, if it's on the right side, hitting it to right field, just dumping it into short, shallow center field for a base hit.
That running fastball at 98 again, and it's 1-2. Well, you know he feels good, Ubaldo, because he's got 97, 98, 98 with Carlos Lee. He's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Lee was 3 for 4 in that ball game with the home run against the Padres on Sunday. Slider, did he offer at it? Get a reading on that. I thought that was close to an 89 mile an hour slider.
Well, yeah, followed up with a 98 to an 89 mile an hour slider. Carlos Lee, pretty good balance though, and that bat didn't travel, and he's got a very big bat. And just shake the head no. I didn't even need to worry about it. I got you with the head nod.
Whoa, that will get your attention, Carlos Lee. The heart rate just went up about 100%. Woo. That was 97 at the Coconut.
Well, this is about 4 feet difference from where that hard slider was.
Wow.
I mean, by the time he reacted, it was already in Chris's glove.
Hey, my heart rate went up.
Yeah.
And we're 100 feet from him.
But this is the courage that it takes to get back in that box now.
Not back in there yet.
Well, yeah, a few more seconds and he will be.
Wow. Wow.
Slider down and away now.
Slider.
Slider down and away.
Fastball held on. 99 miles an hour. Ubaldo Jimenez punches out. Carlos Lee with Berkman at second. We'll see the Rockies offensively when we come back. Donut on the bat, and let's take a look at the rest of Clint Hurdle's lineup following Dexter Fowler. Troy Tulowitzki will be in the 2-hole. He's swinging the bat well. Then it'll be Todd Helton, Brad Hopp. They've hit back-to-back the last 3 ball games. Garrett Atkins has slid to the 5th hole. Seth Smith's come on. He'll be batting 6th with a .310 mark. Then Chris Iannetta, Ian Stewart, and the pitcher Ubaldo Jimenez. And let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on the large young right-hander Felipe Paulino.
Well, a fastball anywhere from 90 to 99 miles an hour. We talked about in the open how he can hit 100. And then the slider and an occasional changeup. He needs to implement that more if he's going to stay into the starting rotation.
And that first pitch misses. That came in at 95 miles an hour. Just looking at the defensive alignment, I always study this a little bit more with teams outside the NL West, how their scouts align the defense or suggest to the coaching staff how they should align the defense. Michael Bourne's very shallow in center field. And though this is not the natural side for Fowler, he has pop.
Well, he does, and that's the one thing, especially here at Coors Field. But some managers, we've seen it before. They decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and play in, take away the short single. If they hit it in the gap, it's probably going to be a double anyway.
Here's the 1-2, outside 2-2.
Other managers subscribe to this theory that, you know what, I'm going to play back a little bit deeper. I'll give up the single, but I'll try to take the double away.
Yeah, there are a lot of managers, you know this, Huey, they think that what kills you at Coors Field is not the home run, it's the singles that drop in front of the outfielders.
Yep.
And Fowler, who unfortunately has been piling up the strikeouts again of late, fans there. So one gone, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki. Here's a look at those defenders for the Astros. Carlos Lee, Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence in right, Jeff Blum at third, Miguel Tejada. Reduced range for the former All-Star shortstop. Kazu Matsui at second. Got a good glove. Lance Berkman at first. And Pudge Rodriguez one day will be in the Hall of Fame, not only for his offensive exploits, but one of the great defensive catchers, one of the great throwing arms we've seen in the last half century. Tulo takes a pitch down low, a slider, ball one. Rockies have never seen Paulino. And he drops that hard breaking pitch in there for a strike.
Well, I mentioned him as a starter. In 3 games, he's 0-2, but he does have a 2.55 ERA. In 17 innings, 13 strikeouts. As a reliever, 21 ERA.
There's the quick arm, 97 miles an hour on the fastball. So a couple of guys who can really bring it tonight. Paulino, we were kidding about it during the pregame show that he's a converted shortstop because he's 6'3.5" and he weighs 256 pounds. So when he played shortstop, Huey may be right. Maybe he converted when he was 11 years old. He outgrew the position.
He said, no more. I can't play shortstop. Forget the range. I've got a great arm. I'm going to the hill.
And a great arm he does possess. In the minor leagues, he was once clocked at 102 miles an hour.
The only other guy I heard about that hard was Nolan.
Pours that over the outside corner. So it's 3-2. Paulino gets the baseball, gets right back on the rubber.
I was thinking the same thing. Just he gets it and goes. That keeps your defense behind you into the ball game.
Helton on deck, 1 out, nobody on. And Tulo hits a slow roller toward Tejada with the bare hand, and his throw is wide. And now Tulowitzki's going to move up to second base as Berkman scrambles after it. The thing that was real impressive to me is Miguel was able to grab that with his bare hand. I thought it was hit a little too hard to do that. And so I figured, all right, he made the hard part of the play. He's going to throw him out.
Typically, the only time you will barehand the ball if you're an infielder is if it's rolling. You very rarely will see a guy when it's bouncing like that come in and barehand it. Tried to make the throw. Berkman comes off the bag, but when you barehand it, a lot of times you'll either smother the ball as a changeup or get it right out on the end of your fingertips. And folks, if there was any question about Troy and his quad, if he was healthy, getting down the line, he ran fine and had to make that turn to get to second base.
I'm glad you brought that out because that's just what I was thinking about. I mean, wouldn't you know it? The first inning of the game, he's got to really push it up the line.
And that's where the trainers have to make sure when you're ready to go out there and play that you can play at full speed, make those kind of things.
They're going to give him a base hit and then an error on Tejada, allowing him to go to second.
I think that's the right scoring. I mean, yeah, if he makes a good throw, he might have him by just a bang-bang play over at first base. But that was a very difficult play.
2-0 count on Helton. The Rockies a chance to get out in front early. Tulo's at second base. And Todd drives it to center field deep. Bourne going back, still going back, and he's going to be able to pull it in, and Tulowitzki will jog to third. Todd hit that well. Michael Bourne with the great speed kind of skipped his way back near the track and made the catch. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Brad Hopp. A reminder that it's email the booth night. Here's how you do it. Log on to fsninsider.com. Go to the Rocky Mountain homepage and click on email the booth. We'll answer your questions live on the air. Tracy Ringlesby will be posting questions and answering them online as well throughout the ballgame. It's brought to you by Office Liquidators and OfficeLiquidators.com. Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices of office furniture. So Brad will try to come through here. And he has done that a fair share of the time so far this year. Fouls that pitch off. Brad hitting .381 with runners in scoring position. This is one of those ball games when you haven't seen a guy and he's got good stuff. He's got a high 90s fastball. He's got a power curveball, slurve, slider, whatever you want to call it. It's got bite to it. It's got tilt, as they like to say in the dugout. I think the second time through and the third time through is real key, if there is a third time through, if Paulino's still out there.
It is, because that's the point of having 3 pitches as a starter. You can get away with having 2 as a reliever. But to me, you have to have 3 pitches that you can show the hitters just to give them something else to put in the back of their mind.
And the Rockies get a feel for them also
right.
as they get second and third looks.
The arm slot, where the ball's coming from, how quick it's actually getting on you.
This ball is hit to left field. It is tailing away from and dropping in front of Carlos Lee. And heading to second with an RBI double is Brad Hopp. It's 1-0 Colorado. That's what Hopp did the other day. Just dumped one into left field near the line.
Well, you know what? That's where he's really matured as a hitter for me. Not trying to pull everything, not trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. This ball beats him a little bit, but you know what? He was in such a good hitting position that he was able to stay inside the baseball, hit it into left field. From the Hyundai Cam, a little bit different angle than what we've typically had. Now we get to see how those hands are going back as that front leg gets locked in. That ball was towards the towards the trademark, but still strong enough to drop it into left field.
Garrett Atkins with an opportunity to drive in a second run. He takes a breaking pitch for a strike. Addy's been struggling. People realize that. An uncharacteristic start for Garrett Atkins. He's hitting just .210. He's 0 for his last 16 at the plate. And this is chopped to Tejada. In the inning, the Rockies get an infield hit from Tulowitzki, aided by an error by Tejada. Brad Hopp brings him around 1-0 through 1. Toothpick Sam Jones throws a no-hitter the hard way in the ninth versus the Pirates. He walked the bases full and then struck out Dick Grote, Roberto Clemente, and Frank Thomas, big power hitter, in succession to preserve a 4-0 victory. Unfortunately, only 2,900 fans saw the ball game.
Different Frank Thomas, though.
Frank wasn't playing back then. Frank Thomas, I remember for years he had the New York Mets home run record for a single season. He had 34 in the early days under Casey Stengel. Miguel Tejada with an 0-1 count, hitting .313. Miguel gets moved off the plate. It's 1-1. Miggy was 3 for 5 with 5 RBIs on Sunday, including a home run. In fact, he's 8 for his last 16 at the plate. That home run, though, for a guy that used to hit a ton of home runs, his first home run in 170 at bats.
That's
Atkins will throw him out.
That's hard to believe, especially with that short porch there in Houston.
Actually, that was his second home run, but he had 2 last week.
Right.
But he had gone 170 at bats between home runs till earlier last week, and then he had a second on Sunday. So Tejada's gone 5-3, and that'll bring up Hunter Pence, who's very familiar with Ubaldo Jimenez because they played against each other back in Double-A in the Texas League. I was talking to Hunter about that earlier. He said one of the keys to having any kind of success against Jimenez is you got to stay off that fastball in the inner half because you think it's a good pitch and then it runs in on your hands and blows up the bat.
Well, the other thing too, think about a lot of the ballparks now in the minor leagues are newer. They're nice, the better lights. So there's still some old ballparks there that you're trying to hit a guy throwing as hard as Ubaldo in lights that aren't quite up to standards. Not light standards, but up to major league standard lights.
They're on light standards.
Well, they are.
They're on standards, but they're right. I know what you meant.
You know what I meant.
I do. Here's the 2-1. Whoa, 3-1.
Even though those aren't intentional, but those serve a great purpose.
Well, hey, you know what? It's an uncomfortable at bat. It's uncomfortable because his stuff's overwhelming, but it's got to be uncomfortable, Huey, because you never know when you might have to roll on the ground to get out of the way of one.
Well, see right there, 3-1 pitch. How many times do you see guys just automatically take that kind of walk back onto their heels just a little bit? That's what Hunter Pence did on that situation.
Softly hit at the second baseman, Stewart. 2 outs, and there goes a bat. You keep track of that. All those stats, you keep track of broken bats. 2 gone. Jeff Blum coming up.
I'm not sure what he's checking. From here, we could hear the sound of it.
Hunter, don't
use it.
Yeah. If you want to bring that bat to the plate again, go right ahead, but I wouldn't advise it. Blum takes down low, ball 1.
I have seen guys take broken bats to the plate occasionally if they were going to bunt.
Really?
Yeah.
To deaden the ball a little bit?
Deaden the ball, and then they would say if they didn't get the bunt down, then they'd go to the bat rack and get a new one.
Wow. Did you ever do that? You did. So you heard of yourself doing it. Nobody else. Oh, man. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball back to Jimenez. He has got good stuff tonight. 1-2-3 inning for Ubaldo in the second. Rockies up 1-0. Back to Coors Field in a matter of moments. Paulino in the second. They'll begin it with Seth Smith hitting out of the 6-hole. Left fielder swung the bat well of late. Played throughout the weekend against Florida. Went 5 for 10 in that series. 2 for 3 and a double. Also a walk on Sunday in the Rockies' 3-2 win. Again, their first one-run win of 2009. Last club to win a one-run game in baseball. That's up high. 2-0. Jeff, we got to check out Houston's focus tonight. What is it?
Well, it's Paulino and how the Rockies, the first time they see him, how do they do again? Do they take quality at bats? Do they take quality swings? How deep do they get into the counts? I mean, I look at it so far. Dexter struck out, Troy infield single, Brad Hopp got jammed but was able to drop it in there. So far, not too many quality swings. I want to see what they do the second time through the lineup.
Probably the best swing against him came from Helton on the line drive
the line
to deep
drive to center field. And the second time through the lineup, when you face a guy, now I know where that ball's coming from, how hard it is. Does it have movement?
3-1, strike 2. Come on back. You're the next contestant on the Price is Right. Seth was halfway to first.
Well, he was. This ball looked like it was up just a little bit. The way Putz received it, though, they kept it right in the strike zone. Framed it for Larry Vanover to say, I think it's right at his waist. It wasn't outside. Just thought it was high.
And down low. Today's injury report brought to you by the Exempla Lutheran Medical Center. For that injury report, here's Alana.
All right, thanks very much, Drew. Right-handed setup man Taylor Buchholz hasn't pitched for the Rockies all season because of that strained elbow ligament. He did make a big step forward, though, when he joined the team in Denver for the first time this season. Now, when he was working out at the team's training complex in Tucson, Arizona, he had 3 bullpen sessions in which he threw 30 to 35 pitches, but it was all using his fastball. He's going to mix in and change up in the next couple of sessions. At least that's what they hope to do. Buchholz said there is no timetable for the return. However, he hopes to be throwing some simulated games by the end of the month. Hopefully, Taylor Buchholz will get back to us soon, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be still some time. Alana, thanks for that update. He's spinning the ball a little bit on flat ground.
Yeah, the real test
sometime later on in June if things go well.
Yeah, when he gets back on that mound and starts spinning those curveballs.
That'll be the test.
It always is. I mean, that's when you find out if it's back completely. And the one thing you don't want to have, though, is any sort of setback. Make sure everything's going along. You better err on the side of caution 1 week maybe later than what you had projected to make sure when he comes back he's ready to go for the rest of the season.
1-1 on Chris Iannetta. Smith a fairly conservative lead, and this is slowly hit to Tejada. They'll get 1, and on the first, safe there. So Chris able to beat the throw by the second baseman Matsui.
Well, I wasn't sure it was even going to be that close. It was just a nice turn from Kaz. Get defeated. The ball wasn't hit that hard. Tejada doesn't throw it all that hard, but the one thing Kaz was able to do is protect himself from the runner by using the bag. So the runner has to go to the bag, go through the bag before he gets to you as a second baseman.
Ian Stewart will step up. Stewart just 1 for his last 19 at the plate. And Clint Hurdle has said over and over again, as has Don Baylor, to Ian Stewart, and thus to the media, he's got to be more aggressive, and he was there on the first fastball.
Well, and he's getting enough fastballs to hit. That's the thing about it. You think about the at-bats he's had lately. It's not they're just throwing curveballs or changeup. He's getting the fastballs to hit. He's just not swinging.
Do you ever get in a mode like that, Huey, where you're just overly patient?
Yeah, and it's not a good place to be, and that's where Ian is right now, especially with the guy that has power at all fields. You don't have to wait for that perfect pitch.
1 ball and 1 strike on Stewart. His 1 hit in his last 19 at bats was a bomb. Stewie with 4 home runs. He's driven in 13. Iannetta at first. Stewart hitting out of the 8-hole. Houston beginning a 6-game road trip that will also take them to Chicago to take on the Cubs. Got any times yet on Paulino?
I haven't, and really with Chris over there, you look at it, probably be a little bit slower than what he would be if Dexter Fowler or somebody else was out there. No disrespect to Chris, but he's a catcher.
Well, if the Rockies score 7 runs or more tonight, go to Taco Bell tomorrow between 4 and 6 in the afternoon and receive 4 tacos for $1 with the purchase of a drink. Only 1 order per customer. That from our friends at Taco Bell. Ball and 2 strikes on Stewart. Strike 3. And you know what? I got to look back, but that may be 5 straight times that Stewart has struck out looking.
It is. This time it was a backdoor slider. Most of the time with Paulino, go to that back foot, but that one was the back door where he works it on the outside part of the plate. Pudge set up on the outside part of the corner, right on the black.
Ubaldo Jimenez, Rockies' leading hitter at 500. That's kind of what you figured on May 12th, that Ubaldo would be leading the club. He's 3 for 6. Ball and a strike on Jimenez.
But he has, in the last couple of years, improved the way he's swung the bat at the plate.
It's much better.
It is.
It's not good, but it's much better.
Relative term, though.
Right.
From where he started to where he is now, it is much better.
And we mean that with love and affection. It's not great, but it's much better. But you know what? I don't care how he swings, as long as he keeps throwing those 98-mile-an-hour heaters.
That's not what they're paying him for.
Knee buckling breaking pitches.
Yeah, they're paying him to do that. Keep the other team off the scoreboard. Throwing a hit occasionally, it's a bonus.
This is fouled off. Andy has the first email of the night. Where is Walt Weiss? Is he still with the Rockies? Not in an official capacity, Andy. He's going to be doing some high school coaching both on the football and baseball side down in the southern part of the metropolitan area. Actually, at Regis High School.
Yep.
And Walt's doing well. Ran into him about a month and change ago. Coaching his boys. Walt's doing well. Just, you know what? He is at the stage of his life, as much as he loves the Rockies and loves to be involved, and he continues to talk to Dan O'Dowd on a regular basis. He's got family obligations and other things going on, so I'm sure at some point Walt will be back in the fold, but right now he's with the family and doing a little high school coaching. 1-0 Colorado. It's off to the Steel City. See the Pirates for 3, then Atlanta for 4. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and that road trip will continue as the Rockies will head to Detroit for the first interleague series of the year. Rockies up 1-0, top of the 3rd inning. Let's check another email as Pudge Rodriguez steps in. David wants to know, with Todd Helton approaching 2,000 hits, do you think that he will eventually be voted into the Hall of Fame, or do you think the Coors Field stigma will hold him back? The stigma will not help David, but I'm going to reserve judgment. Personally, I think he's a Hall of Fame hitter, first and foremost. He's a Hall of Fame person. I want to see what the final numbers are. First pitch swinging for Pudge, and Tulowitzki is going to throw him out. Because you know what? If Todd can keep the back healthy like he has so far the first 5 weeks of this season, and he goes and throws out 2,600 hits, you know what? He's a Hall of Famer in my book. He's got a 328 lifetime average.
Yeah, and I would agree with you that I got to see it for 2 or 3, 4 more years to see what happens. It was interesting talking about the 2,000 hits, what's going to happen. Yeah, talking to Todd Helton, to him it was just another number. And he was just like, okay, somebody asked him, what are you going to do when you get to 2,000? He goes, I'm going to try to get to 3,000.
Exactly. I'm going to work on the next 1,000.
Yeah, I'm going to work on my next 1,000 hits.
That's low to Paulino. It's 2-0.
But I think he probably has to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have, you're already over 300 home runs, over 1,100 RBIs. I mean, if you just do the math, I mean, if you have 1,400 RBIs, 2,500 hits, and 350 plus home runs, and at least 3 gold gloves, he already has that. He's going to have over 500 doubles. I don't care where he played.
Right.
And Paulino chops one to short. Tulowitzki comes in and makes the play. That's the one play that concerns him with that quadricep, because he comes in so hard. He always attacks the baseball and throws on the run, and that's how he hurt his quad last year. Now, this is a different area. If you're wondering at home, is it the same injury? I asked him before the game. He said, no, it's not in the same place.
But it is, because it requires a quick start, and then you have to bend down at the waist, bend at your knees, and then come up and make the strong throw over to first base. Well, I like what I'm seeing from Ubaldo so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ground ball outs.
And he did this last time out. He kept the pitch count down. And the first pitch to Matsui's on the inside corner for a strike. While we have a moment, a big shout out to an old teammate of yours who keeps in touch with us, and our friend Larry Walker. You know, Larry evidently got booted out of his house in Florida and is now up staying with Gary for a couple of days in Vancouver. And you know what the Walker family did. Every name's got a rhyme. So it's Larry and Gary and Carrie. To the Walker family in Vancouver, all the best.
Condolences.
Yeah, sorry. Kick Larry out. Send him back home to Florida. Here's the 1-2. That's inside. 2-2. Freeloading again, huh? Did he do that when you played with him?
Actually, I don't know what I was thinking, but he babysat my daughter a few times when she was growing up.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
You talk about an error in judgment. Windshield chipped or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, at 303-287-5000, or visit safelite.com. See you later.
Wow.
He just blew him away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Ubaldo looks pretty good right now. He's retired 8 in a row, and the Rockies enjoying a 1-0 advantage on Houston. Colorado Rockies on FSN is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Finance or lease any new Hyundai, and if you lose your income, we'll make the payments for the next 3 months. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex in print and online at dexknows.com. Dexter Fowler's second look at Felipe Paulino. He struck out swinging his first time up. That looked like a changeup.
That was the first one. The first one that Paulino was thrown.
The heater behind it's high and away. And it's 2-0. In there. And Dex lifts this foul and out of play. He's been taking extra batting practice the last several days. The league adjusting to his early success.
Yep. And then that's what you have to do as a hitter, readjust, get back to going straight to the baseball.
This is looped to left field, and it's going to drop in fair territory. Dexter with those long strides will easily, well, not so easily, but he had a double. Pretty good job by Carlos Lee to get to it. That's a double for a select few in this game. Michael Bourne in center field, maybe. Kaz Matsui.
Yep. Well, from the Hyundai cam, we can see how he really had to pull those hands in. And that, even the top hand, as hard as Paulino throws, made that hand vibrate a little bit, but right out of the box. I mean, he's going for two, no hesitation whatsoever, and the hard slide into second base.
Well, that was an adjustment right there, because when teams get ahead of him, pitchers try to bust him in or go slider in. And you see Tulowitzki trying to do what the Rockies concentrated on during spring training, move that runner over when he reaches second and nobody out. If you got to lay down a bunt, why not? It's a good play.
It's a great play, and with Paulino not the best fielder out there, you go ahead and try to push the ball to the right side, and then it becomes a foot race to the bag.
Tulo, an infield hit his first time up, and he's going to lay it down again, and then he fouls it off. So now it's 0-2. You know, the one thing about when you do that in spring training, and even when you do it before a ball game, coach is throwing you the ball at 60, 65 miles an hour. It's a whole different animal.
Well,
isn't it?
it is, and that's why both times he's worked underneath the baseball and popped it up. Even one back and one the other way.
Hit slowly enough that'll get the job done. Good read by Fowler. It helps when you have that great speed. Dexter crosses over, and Tulo kept it on the ground, and he ends up moving up the runner.
Yeah, very productive out from Troy. You get the slider, and then as a base runner, your key is, can I beat the ball to where it's going? And Dexter did that. By the time he got there, the ball was behind him. That's why he was able to make it to third.
Infield comes in early in this game. I think Cecil Cooper's looking at Ubaldo Jimenez and says, you know what, we can't really get much further behind than a run right now the way that kid's throwing.
No, so you go ahead and play him all the way in. And that's where you can't even afford to take 2 or 3 steps back if you're an infielder because of the speed at third base and Dexter Fowler. You have to come in even with the grass.
Todd's eyes have to light up. I mean, he's got Kaz Matsui and Miguel Tejada about 75 feet away. Corners are basically even with the bag. Todd hit a drive to deep center his first time up. Rockies up 1-0. And this is a high drive, deep right field, way back and gone. Helton says, I don't care where you play the infield, I'm going over the wall. His 4th of the year, and it's 3-0 Rockies.
Well, the infield in, all Todd's thinking about is dropping that back shoulder just a little bit, try to swing up on the baseball, get something I can lift in the air. And that's exactly what he did. From the Hyundai cam, watch this, let's go down this way before it starts to go up. I mean, that's just a beautiful swing. and what a follow through.
Now you're talking about your old teammate Larry Walker looking in tonight from his hometown of Vancouver. He's seen a bunch of that. Long, big, majestic fly balls off the bat of number 17.
96 miles an hour, too, from Paulino.
1 ball, 1 strike on Brad Hopp. RBIs 19 and 20 for Helt. You know, think back on April 17th, Todd was hitting 172. Since April 18th, coming into the ball game, he had hit 408. The only averages higher in the game, Ryan Braun at 411, Ryan Zimmerman with that close to 30 game hit streak at 409. 3-1.
Nice and slow on this swing from the Hyundai Cam. What perfect extension right there. I mean, the head down all the way through there, and then it goes out that way. It does not get any prettier than that. The hips open up, and that's when you generate all that power.
And right behind it, he walks Hop on 5 pitches. You have to see the perfect palms up, palms down, knuckles
yes.
up, knuckles down.
You couldn't draw it up any better if you were to put a stick figure in a book and say, here, this is what you need to do.
That was career home run number 314 for Helt, which ties him with Reggie Smith for 104th on the all-time home run list. Reggie Smith, quite a productive switch hitter in his day. Here's Garrett Atkins.
Well, my focus tonight was what was going to happen the second time through the lineup. You can see what happens with the Rockies the first time through the lineup, seeing Paulino for the first time. And now already we've seen a double, a home run now, and a walk. One more look at this and what I was talking about back in the first inning. Strikeout, ground out, fly out, strikeout. Much different story the second time so far through the lineup.
Addy drives it to right field. Hunter Pence moves over and makes a catch. But you know what? I bet you Don Baylor and I bet you Garrett Atkins like that at bat a whole lot better than many of his more recent at bats.
Well, they should, because this is a ball that he takes to right field, something that we've seen Garrett Atkins do so often. You're right, Don Baylor. That's what they've been trying to get him back to doing. Garrett trying to use that ball to right center field. Ball's in, react inside, and then that's when you pull it.
Seth Smith, who drew a walk in the second inning, is up here again in the third inning. Hop at first, and this ball is driven to left field, fairly deep. Carlos Lee is going to make the catch. In the inning, the Rockies come up with 2 more runs. The inning began with a Dexter Fowler double. 2 batters later, Todd Helt with his 4th of the year. 3-0 Rockies.
The top of the fourth inning, which means that it is time for your Aflac trivia question for tonight. Now, the question is, the Houston Astros entered into the major leagues in 1962 along with the New York Mets. But what was their name when they came into the bigs, guys?
Wow, that goes back, doesn't it? Back to when Huey was, what, about 8, 9 years old?
Yeah.
Strike one on Michael Bourne, hitting out of the 2-hole. Infield at his first time up. Bourne's doing a better job so far this year getting on base. The average coming in 287, very respectable. He's picked it up in May. He's in a ditch now 0-2. He looks back at Larry Vanover. Last year, he came in that Brad Lidge deal with Philadelphia, so there was a lot of attention on him. His on-base percentage was 288.
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done.
No, the problem, he couldn't steal first base. Once he gets on, that's when he becomes dangerous.
See ya. How about that? 97 miles an hour. Started at his shoulder and tailed back over the inside corner. Well, there's nothing you can do, Michael. Don't worry about it.
You tip your cap and you go back to the dugout saying there's no way, even if I try to swing at it, I'm going to hit it. But the one thing we've seen from Larry tonight is he is calling that ball up just a little bit.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
Lance Berkman hit a comebacker his first time up. Michael Bourne was on second, and he got hung up. Rockies eventually got him out. Berkman moved to second on the play. The next hitter, Carlos Lee, was struck out by Jimenez. And it's 0-1 on Lance. Remember a year ago in May, Berkman almost didn't make an out the entire month. He had a 2-week stretch, folks, where he was 31 for 50.
And that's what he can do. I mean, so you look at the average at 183 right now. And if I'm an Astros fan going 183, I'm not too worried about it because he could hit 600 or 700 for a 3 or 4 week stretch.
2 balls and a strike on Berkman. And this one's pulled up the middle as an outside pitch. And Berkman rolls it up the middle. That is the second hit for Houston.
Hey, Rockies fans, help the Children's Hospital and the Prader-Willi Syndrome Association by donating through the Wins for Kids campaign. When you do that, you will receive a collectible DVD recapping the 2009 Rockies season. Donations can be made online at ColoradoRockies.com, at the Coors Field ticket windows, or any Rockies dugout store. So remember that, Wins for Kids.
There's 2 good friends visiting, Lance Berkman and Todd Helton.
2 great hitters.
2 great hitters. 2 guys who have a passion in the offseason for doing a little hunting. 2 good personalities. 1-0 on Carlos Lee.
Foul ball.
Yeah, that got the bat. Carlos going, you know what?
Wait a second.
All right, that got the bat. The first time there was one that was helmet high. This isn't a lot of fun.
No. He starts to go at it, and that's the tailing fastball right off the barrel of the bat.
You hitters call it cheating a little bit. You got to cheat. You got to get started early, don't you?
Yeah, you have to with the guy that throws as hard as he does.
Gets bent over backwards again. You know, when Lee struck out in the first inning, for a big, strong, powerful guy, I mean, you're talking about a 35 home run, 100 RBI guy, year in and year out. Get this, it was just his 11th punch out and 118 at bats.
Oh, that's amazing. But the one thing that Carlos Lee will do that you don't see hardly anybody do anymore at the big league level, he'll spread out and he'll just really think about using those hands and shorten his swing with 2 strikes.
Oh, that's about the 3rd time he's had to drop down. Yeah, that was. But still, to Carlos, he's like, all right, I spent more of my time on my derriere in this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to wash the uniform just from the many times that he's been on his backside already.
You know, we say it's just a curveball, but that curveball's about 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's a wild pitch, and that allows Berkman to go to second. Rockies up 3-0. Astros hitting in the 4th. Center field, Fowler will have it. Berkman's got to return to the bag. And that was a great illustration, Huey, for me of what you were talking about. He was spread out, didn't try to do a lot with that fastball away, and he made good contact.
Yeah, and that's why he's been able to do what he's been able to do with the hitting streak from the side. This is what I'm talking about. Very small stride. Even though the backside goes out just a little bit, he's just trying to think about hitting the ball to the right side. But he's just so strong, it carried all the way into center field. Most guys, that would have been a base hit in the right center field.
Not out of the woods yet. Jam Miguel Tejada. He grounded to third base his first time. Former Oakland A and Baltimore Oriole. Second season with the Astros. Last year he was an all-star with Houston. He had 10 home runs in the first half. But then he really tailed off in the second half. Hit just 3 home runs after the break. He was over 300 in the first half, and he finished at 283. Former American League MVP. One. That's pop foul and out of play. That fastball at 97, so he's maintaining the heat.
I remember Tejada played in 1,152 consecutive games. People forget that this guy was a pretty durable player. That's the fifth longest streak of all time.
Here's the 1-2. Clint Hurdle mentioned something after the Josh Johnson performance for the Florida Marlins a few days ago. He said, you know, I hope that, and I know, he didn't just hope, that Ubaldo was watching how Johnson worked. Because Johnson has a fabulous arm. He worked with the fastball, but he stayed ahead of everybody. And this is slowly hit. Nice backhand stab, and the throw to first is a 93-mile-an-hour sinker that Help comes up with. Good job again by Jimenez. Rockies lead middle of 4, 3-0. Rockies up 3-0. Clint Hurdle dispensing high fives in the dugout. Another strong inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. Bottom third of the order for the Rockies. Chris Iannetta, Ian Stewart, Ubaldo Jimenez. This is the 28th different lineup for the Rockies in this their 31st ball game. Iannetta bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up, and Paulino's slider is in there for a strike.
We talk about the lineups, and people are, oh, why don't you stick with the same lineup? Well, a lot of it has to do with how the guys are hitting.
This ball is hammered to deep left field. If it's fair, it's long gone, I think. He caught it. Oh, maybe it wasn't so long gone. Carlos Lee reached over the wall, and Iannetta could just grin. He hit that thing so he may have hit it higher than it was far.
Well, off the bat, I couldn't quite tell what was going to happen. Carlos Lee kept going back and back. The Hyundai cam, we'll see how he had to jump up right at the base of the wall. That'd have been close to going out. He might have hit right on top and gone. I don't know, but Carlos Lee is not known for his glove out in left field.
Well, he had a bunch of assists last year. Nice catch.
I'll tell you one thing. If that's in Houston, that's long gone.
That's in the Crawford boxes in Houston. Carlos, for such a big man, will surprise you. He's pretty agile. 1 ball and 1 strike. He steals some bases. In fact, Carlos Lee last year, well, he stole only 4 last year. A couple of years ago, stole 19.
Yeah, that's. I don't think a guy that big would be able to steal that many.
Let's watch Stewart in this at bat. He was aggressive early in the at bat last time up, and then he was caught looking again. We think it's 5 straight strikeouts that he's been caught looking, and he's out front there, and it's 1-2. Pinch hit in the 8th and was caught looking on Sunday, and then Saturday in a start he struck out 3 or 4 times. No strikeout here. Nobody's going to catch this one unless you have a glove in the 2nd deck. 5th home run of the year for Ian Stewart. That was a bomb.
Well, that's what makes him so intriguing. I mean, to be able to go out and hit the ball that far. But to me, the Astros went to the well one too many times. They kept trying to throw that slider, And you know what? They threw it one too many times and hung up into the zone just a little bit. And Ian just golfed it out of here. That's where Pudge wanted it. I mean, it wasn't a bad place where Pudge wanted it. It was just going there too many times in a row. And no stride whatsoever. And that's just pure strength to be able to no stride it and hit it out that far.
Ubaldo out in front of the plate. Pudge grabs it, and Ubaldo racing up the line is out by a step. 2 gone in the 4th with the Rockies up 4-0. And again, we find what Alana Rizzo's up to. Alana.
All right, guys, let's answer our Aflac trivia question. The question was, when the Astros entered the major leagues back in 1962, they had a different name. Do you guys know what that name was?
The Houston Colt 45.
There you go. The Colt 45s. They debuted on April 10th, 1962 against the Chicago Cubs. They ended up 8th in the National League that season. I have an email the booth for you from a guy standing next to me that is dying to know, and he says he keeps emailing it in. Who would win a foot race between George Frazier and Drew Goodman? Goody, I picked you. That's just because Frazier isn't here.
You want to know what? I don't care if Frazier was here. That's the joke. You kidding me? He had run at 20. How many? What 87 when he retired in 87 after the winning it all with Minnesota 22 years ago.
Yeah, this is the last time he ran.
The better question would be, could I run backwards faster than Frazier could run forwards?
Oh, he's probably watching back in Oklahoma.
That's okay, because George was a great athlete. He was a tremendous basketball player. Obviously, he was a great baseball player. But George is really good at sitting on the couch these days.
I'm going to go ahead and pass that on to my friend over here that was dying to ask you guys that.
Come on now. Huey, that's kind of insulting, wasn't it? Now, I'll tell you who can still run, and that's my partner, Jeff Houston.
I might be able to take you.
Yeah, well, you got the longer stride. Jeff's still at his playing weight, I think, aren't you?
I'm 1 pound lighter.
Are you?
Yeah.
There you go. 3-2 on Dexter Fowler. And Dex lifts it to center field. And now Bourne has to go back, way back. And that's what I was talking about earlier. He plays very shallow. And Fowler almost got one over his head. In the inning, the Rockies come up with another run. Their 2nd home run of the ball game. This time it's Ian Stewart. 4-0 Colorado. Ubaldo Jimenez has been sensational so far. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Geico quote of the day, Reggie Jackson on the great Nolan Ryan. Every hitter likes fastballs just like everybody likes ice cream. But you don't like it when someone's stuffing it into you by the gallon. That's how you feel when Ryan's throwing balls by you. You just hope to mix in a walk so you can have a good night and only go 0 for 3. Here's Hunter Pence swinging at the first pitch, and he grounds it up the middle for a base hit.
When a great hitter like Reggie Jackson says that, wow.
I always go back to that line, and I'm paraphrasing what Willie Mays said. He goes, you know what, the Koufaxes and Drysdales, you know, you'll take your 1 for 4s. He goes, but look out when I get to the back of the rotation.
That's right. What a feast on those guys. I'd be surprised if Hunter Pence tries to steal a base, even down 4-0 in the 5th.
I guess Ubaldo's thinking the same thing. Hunter last year had 11 bags. He is a guy who has a green light, so the only time that would be off is if from the bench. That's pretty close.
Yep.
They give him the stop sign.
A quick feed from Ubaldo and a nice swipe tag from Todd Helton. Just barely got in on that tag. Good thing Hunter Pence is 6'4".
He's got a 37-inch sleeve. Up high on Blum, who's 2 for his last 27, ball 1. We check another email. This is from Chris. In spring training, the Rockies were practicing hitting behind the runner. Why is this important? Well, you saw it a few minutes ago. They didn't actually hit behind the runner with Tulowitzki with the runner on second base. That hit Pence. That saves the baseball from going up the right field line. But if you have a leadoff runner on second base, we'll pick that thought up in a moment. Here's the replay.
Ouch.
Yeah, got him in the back.
And just get more guys into scoring position.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. So you can try to drive the guy in when he's over at third base instead of second.
That's a base hit for Blum. So back-to-back singles. Pence will go to third. Back-to-back singles for Houston. And they have runners at first and third with nobody out.
Well, Hunter Pence has long, lanky strides around second base. He hits it in the inside corner and stumbles a little bit, but still has the balance to stay upright.
Huey, were you a proponent of always slide like there for Pence? Because a lot of times injuries happen when guys are trying to break down from full speed.
No, I like to slide, especially if I thought it was already in my mind that I was going to have to slide. That I wanted to go ahead and get down, so I didn't have to worry about, well, hey, do I go in there feet first? How's it going to happen?
This is a big hitter for Ubaldo. You have runners on the corners, nobody out. Pudge is hitting out of the 8-hole. You have Paulino behind him.
And nobody warming up in the bullpen. I mean, so the play by Dexter Fowler, go ahead and throwing it into second base, let Hunter get to third, but now you still have the double play in order.
1 ball and 1 strike on Rodriguez, sitting on 299 career home runs. Tonight is the 2,202nd game behind the plate for Rodriguez. And this is popped up foul and out of play. That's third all time.
You know, I'm still surprised he had to wait so long to get a job.
This spring?
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind-boggling that when a guy has 14 All-Star games under his belt, 13 Gold Gloves, 7 Silver Sluggers, a former MVP, and he's sitting until the middle of March.
Caught by Stewart. Nice play by Ian Stewart.
If it wasn't for the good base running by the Astros, they might have had a chance. The Rockies had a chance to get a double play here. Ian Stewart lays out to his right side, or to his glove side, excuse me, and dives and catches the baseball for the first out. And Blum did a fine job of just holding his ground, seeing that line drive, and being able to get back to first base.
Paulino grounded as short his first time up. And Cooper's going to have to try to bunt the runner at first. Blum into scoring position. Yeah, to your point about Pudge, he didn't sign till March 20th.
I know. That's the thing that's just shocked me.
And he's playing for Puerto Rico during the WBC. There's the bunt. It's a good one. Stewart covers the bag. 2 outs. And it'll come down to a matchup between Ubaldo and Kaz Matsui. And Ubaldo's won the first 2 matchups, so a weak ground ball to second and a strikeout. You know, pitchers on their game, 4-0 lead. This is where, as Ubaldo walks away for a moment, you gather your thoughts. And if you're working at 95, all of a sudden you belly up to 97 if you have that ability, which Ubaldo does. And you get this guy.
And you think about how you pitched to him last time, the sequences that you were able to use.
Well, that was one sequence, like we said. You belly up, and you throw 97.
Yeah, and that's how he struck out Kaz in the 3rd inning. By elevating that fastball up just a little bit above the hands.
Chris is really smart behind the plate. He don't slow it down to his bat speed.
No.
There's another heater for a strike.
And the other thing is, I already mentioned too, Larry Vanover's calling that high strike. At 96 miles an hour, I don't care who you are, that's a tough pitch to try to get on top of.
And you were a lefty hitter. For whatever reason, it seems like lefties, even switch hitters, Berkman likes the ball down more lefty than he does righty.
Almost every left-handed hitter is that way.
He went to the slider.
Well, you see what Chris just did there. He patted the ground. He did not like where that ball was. He wanted a ball, though, to throw that ball down in the dirt. Don't worry about it. I'll block it. If I called it, I better be able to block it. Now elevate that fastball again. Don't mess around.
Ground ball, stabbed by Jimenez, and the throw to first. Nice job of pitching by Ubaldo. Back-to-back singles began the inning. Houston strands 2 in scoring position. 4-0 Colorado.
Nothing. Let's take a look at our Quest in-game box score here. 3 guys I really want you to focus on: Dexter Fowler, Todd Helton, and Ian Stewart. Strikeout, fly out, strikeout. Now let's look at the second time through the lineup what happened with those guys. Dexter Fowler had a double, and scored a run on Todd Helton's home run, and then of course Ian Stewart's solo blast. And this is a part of seeing a guy a second time, making the adjustments. The Rockies hitters were able to do that. Dexter Fowler led off that inning with the double. Foul ball there. But to go back there just for a second, I mean, Dexter Fowler leads off that third inning with the double, and then Todd Helton with the infield ends able to hit a home run, and then Ian Stewart with the breaking pitch home run. Quick replay right down the line. This is what the umpire's looking at, as he's waiting to see where this ball is in relationship to the bag. Once it gets past the bag, it is the third base umpire's call, and that's Adrian Johnson instead of the home plate umpire Larry Vanover. Before the bag, it's Larry's call. After that, it's Adrian's.
0-2. So you know Tulowitzki's in a good place. That's a slider. There was a real pitcher's pitch, and he just took a look at it and said no.
Going right back to it.
And it is pulled foul. Let's take a look at another email. It is Tuesday night, email the booth night. What's next? This from Russ, who was nice to hear Alana talk about Taylor, but I was also wondering how Jeff Francis was doing. Well, Jeff's in the clubhouse every day during the during homestands. Jeff's in the Jeff's in the dugout during the ball games, as you see right there, and he's doing well. He has full range of motion now, and a few weeks down the road, he'll be able to toss a baseball a little bit. He's rehabbing. He's not going to pitch this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, the first thing is to make sure you can get your range of motion back with no pain, and then after that you start building up the arm strength through various exercises, and then your next step is just out there lightly tossing the baseball. It's just a long, lonely process. This is, you feel like you're out on an island.
Tulo did the old help. Wait. Let's flip the bat. Get rid of that one.
That's what you have to be able to do, and that's where, to me, in the last couple weeks, where Troy's made strides.
Yeah, he's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, he is.
He's got the average to 242. Heading north. He was below 200. And that'll help the average as well. That was a terrific at-bat for Troy Tulowitzki. I mean, he spit on a couple of borderline pitches. He fouled off a couple of other nasty pitches. Got something he could handle. Got enough wood on it to punch it through the left side. Good AB.
It was. Yeah, the one he really spit on was the 0-2 slider down and away. And that's the one that got him to be able to come to this point. But then the hands on that one was able to pull it into his body just enough to get it past the diving Blum over at third base.
It's 4 straight multi-hit games for Tulowitzki. Here's Todd. Outside with the fastball. Helton in his last at bat got a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to his liking, and he hit it in the second deck with Dexter Fowler aboard. 4th home run of the year for Helton. A little low. That was a defined strike zone for Larry Vanover. It's an old American League strike zone.
It is. I mean, the ones that used to have the balloon chest protectors. I know I heard you and George talking about that the other day. And I played when I first came up in the American League. The old American League umpires had that big balloon one, so they had a higher strike zone.
3-0. You know what Todd's really good at? I mean, a lot of things, but I'll answer that question myself. Thank you. You know, guy, did you ever had a couple good at bats? You ripped the ball. Next at bat, you're real anxious, right?
Over anxious.
Over anxious.
I can hit anything.
Right, but he doesn't get that way.
Nope.
It's the 3rd inning home run. Three balls and a strike on Todd. 6 hits shy now of 2,000. He'll walk. Tulo to second. Nobody out. 2 on. And you got to figure the bullpen It's starting to get busy for Houston. May get even busier. Hit leaders among active players: Renteria, Jim Thome, and that, of course, does not include Pudge Rodriguez. This is 12 through 16. I'm sorry, couldn't see the numbers in parentheses there. Let me have your glasses for a second.
You know what? There's two names on there, though. Edgar Renteria and Jason Kendall. You know, to have that many hits. Renteria, that one surprises me just a little bit. Did it help you?
No, they're not helping. I want to see. I just want to wear them like you do at the, like I'm a professor here. That's Jeff Houston, folks. Just has him down over the nose. Yeah.
It's a good look.
It is. It's a good look for you. I don't know if it works for me, though.
You know what? It helps me see these small numbers that they keep getting smaller each year.
Yeah. I understand all you hitters, man. I mean, you used to see the dot on the slider. Now you have trouble reading.
I'm a year older. That's all.
Yes, you are. You're older than I am. I know that. Here's the 1-0 on Brad Hopp. Strike.
Paulino's still getting it up there, 96 miles an hour. There really hasn't been a drop off, even at the 88th pitch. His next one will be 89.
Two and one.
Tim Burdack up now, tossing for the Astros out in their bullpen. Left-hander. There he is.
This is fisted through the middle for a base hit. Around third comes Tulowitzki, and he will score. And the Rockies have a 5-0 lead for Brad Hopp. His second hit, second RBI of the ball game. He quietly has a perfect ball game going at the plate. Double, walk, single.
Well, you think about it. I mean, everybody's thinking about Todd Helton's home run, Ian Stewart's home run, but Brad comes through once again with another RBI. 21 now. Almost got Charlie Relaford out at second base. Get out of the way at the last second. The Hyundai cam will show the way those hands had to really be pulled in before he's able to finish his swing.
Still nobody out with Garrett Atkins at the plate. On the corner. That'd be a great time to snap that 0 for 18 slot.
You know, I cheated Brad on RBI. I only said he only had 21. I forgot about the one he had in the first inning. He has 22.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad.
We'll never talk to you again.
I think he'll accept my apology.
Yeah, you're probably right. Two and one. Does Atkins seem a little more closed up to you? I mean, he's still open, but
a little bit, especially when he goes to stride towards the pitcher, and that's when it needs to be squared up. Get those hips to make sure that they're in alignment with the pitcher to keep everything on task. Couple of hitters after Atkins and Smith and Stewart, a couple down. Something happens, Garrett gets on. This is going to be Paulino's last hitter.
Fooled them there, 3 and 2.
Boy, a hard down, biting slider. A side off balance swing at the last second by Garrett. Top hand has to come off to try to get a little length on that bat.
Ball 4. That'll load the bases for Seth Smith. And Smith will not see Paulino. Here comes Cecil Cooper. So the Rockies have played at 5 as they hit here in the 5th. The first 4 men have reached. 2 hits, 2 walks, and that will be all for the young right-hander Felipe Paulino. We'll come back to Coors Field. 5-0 Colorado. In 7 of 4, they've hit a couple of home runs in the game. Todd Helton has hit 1, and the other home run from Ian Stewart. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. And Tim Burdack is a new pitcher for Houston. Their bullpen, so good a year ago, especially on the plus side, has some issues right now with Valverde down with a pulled calf muscle. Doug Brocail, who seems like the ageless one, has a shoulder issue, and he may or may not be back this year.
Right, and that's where it really hurts him. You know, Valverde's the glue that holds that bullpen together. Now all of a sudden you've got to start throwing guys into different situations. When do you bring them in? Is it the 5th inning now, 7th inning? So everybody's got thrown into a different mix out there.
And Troy Hawkins has been closing games for them and doing a good job.
Yeah.
But it's getting to LaTroy that's been interesting. Obviously, this is a different situation. It's 5-0 Colorado. And a quick strike on Seth Smith, who's 6 for his last 12 at the plate and 4 walks, one of which occurred in the 2nd inning.
This is Seth's first at bat with bases loaded this year, but the Rockies as a team are hitting .381.
Inside 1-1. Smith and Tulowitzki coming in, leading the Rockies in walks. And with the walk earlier in the game, Seth now with the club lead of 17 walks, which is really impressive because he has not played on an everyday basis.
No, they keep that eye sharp.
That's a good slider.
Well, it is, and that's what Burdick does. To left-handers especially. He'll come in and just, he might show you the fastball, but he's going to try to get you out with the slider, and another slider.
Ionette on deck, then Stewart. Good job. You'd think he'll throw 2 more of those.
Oh, yeah, I really do. And if I'm Seth Smith, too, I'm going to think about trying to take everything to left field. For 2 reasons. It's easier to elevate the ball when you're thinking opposite field. You get the sac fly, but the other thing is to make sure that I stay on that slider. Everything's going to be working away.
And went fastball there, 3-2. And now all the heat's on Burdack. There's nowhere to put Seth Smith. Ionetta waiting for his turn. Rockies could blow this thing wide open here. Helton, Hopp, and Atkins all aboard. And a ground ball to first. They're going to come home with it. It's a low throw, and Pudge gobbled it up. Todd carefully stepped around him, so they get the force out. 3-2, and the base is loaded for Iannetta.
That wasn't an easy play for Pudge. He made it kind of look easy. The slider that I was talking about right off the end of the bat from Seth Smith to Lance Berkman, and then he just buries one into the dirt. Fortunate for the Astros that it was far enough out in front that it gave him a decent hop. Todd tried to go around. Kind of a funny play. Not funny. It's weren't able to score the run though.
A strike on Iannetta. Chris aboard on a fielder's choice in the second and hit a deep drive to left that may have gone out of the ballpark. Carlos Lee jumped at the wall right near the line and made the catch. His glove ended up over the wall. One ball, one strike. Here's the catch again by El Caballo.
He got up there pretty high to get that.
Check the wall, see if it's okay. Fouled off. Windshield chipped or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass. The number 303-287-5000. Online, safelite.com. 1-2. Pulled down the line, foul. Hop had to spin out of the way.
But he was in the right position. As a third base runner, you got to make sure you're in foul territory. That way, if the ball does happen to hit you, it's a foul ball. Just like you're taught in Little League. Take your lead in foul territory.
And Chris fouls another one off the other direction. This is the first ball game of 16 in a row for the Rockies. They had an off day yesterday. They're going to play 16 straight before their next off day. 12-18 coming in. A year ago at this time, they were 11-19 through 30 ball games. So far, 2-3 on this 8-game homestand. And swung on and missed. So Burdack strikes out Iannetta. And now Stewart coming up. Rockies with the bases loaded, nobody out. And now there's bases loaded and 2 outs. So our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Ian Stewart with a long home run in his last at bat. Again, our delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's.
It's up to Ian now with 2 outs. And Burdack was 1 pitch away from walking a guy in. He was 3-1 on Seth Smith.
Slider missed inside, ball 1. Stewart with his 2 hits over the last week, but they're both home runs.
Matchup lefty on lefty, though. That's where he's really
excited. This ball driven to center field. Bourne turns his back, still going back, Can't catch it, it's gone. Grand slam. A line drive that just kept going and going. And Ian Stewart makes it 9-0 Colorado. How about that blast?
Wow.
Some kind of strong.
That was. I mean, that's where I was talking about right before he hit that. Left on left. That's where Ian has excelled this year. A fastball that was right down Broadway. And oh boy, it doesn't get any prettier than that.
He's now 5 for 13 against left-handed pitching.
Boy, that ball just kept going and going and going. At first, I thought, okay, he's got a chance to get over Michael Bourne's head, drive in 3 runs. And Ian said, no, I'm stronger than that. I'll go ahead and drive in all 4 of us.
You and I both looked at each other at the same time, said, he just didn't hit a 430-foot line drive, did he?
That's what it was.
That thing was 15 feet off the ground.
I mean, a line drive and just dead center field.
I'd say 15, maybe a little higher than that, but you get the point. I mean, that was a frozen rope. Second career grand slam for Ian Stewart. His first came in 2007. It's the second time he's had a multi-homer game. Last year he had one as Pudge Rodriguez hit for the 8,638th time in his big league career.
Ouch.
And the 1,433rd time that a trainer's had to come out and ask if he's okay, and he'll have the same reply. He's had the other 1,433 times. I'm okay.
I'll ice after the game.
Yeah, don't worry about me. 9-0 Rockies. 3 home runs in the ball game. Helton and 2 from Stewart. 1 and 2 on Ubaldo.
Good for him. Ian's been struggling. A lot of talk about his strikeouts, and we talked about it. Taking a lot of fastballs, looking. But his power, though, is just off the charts.
Off the charts. That's foul. Just tied Chris Iannetta for the club lead in home runs with a half dozen.
Game changers. I mean, that's the type of power that Ian has. Game-changing power.
Yes, he does. And a ground ball to second. Kaz Matsui will throw out. He's got a little wild with the throw. He throws out Ubaldo. 8 men come to bat in the 5th inning. And 5 score. Ian Stewart with a big fly with the bases jammed. Better known as a grand. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. By Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports packages. And by Mike Shaw, Chevy Saab, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. Ian Stewart with the bases loaded, hit one over the center field wall. It's 9-0, and Ubaldo Jimenez, first pitch of inning number 6, misses. Ball 1 on Michael Bourne. Bourne in infield hitting 2 trips, and that fastball just a bit too tall. He was called out on strikes his last time up, 3 heaters. Take a seat. That's a pitch he's been calling for a strike.
I was thinking the same thing. Larry had called that pitch about 3 or 4 times already for a strike tonight.
Took a little something off. Pumped that one in there at 90.
Well, at the 9-0 lead, he scored 5 runs last inning. Go right after Michael Bourne.
That's in there also at 92. You know, for him, that's like 85% right there.
Yeah, it's just nice, and he's just like warming up out in the park. You know, just go ahead and throw it just a little bit.
Center field, Fowler on the run. Dexter's got it.
What a jump.
He's fun to watch in center field. Time for our Excel Energy fun fact. Alana has it tonight. Alana?
Thanks very much. I am over here in center field and had a beautiful view of Ian Stewart's grand slam. As you mentioned, time now for our Excel Energy fun fact. And the guy at the plate, a lot of people know him as the Big Puma. Well, it's not the only nickname that Lance Berkman has. In fact, he has had the name Fat Elvis for several years. After an ESPN The Magazine interview, he said his mom told him when he was younger that he looked like Elvis. So Dan Patrick said, the skinny one or the fat one? And Lance Berkman answered, I guess the fat one. Additionally, in 2005, he was given the short-lived nickname Berkwell once he took over Jeff Bagwell's first base position. But I kind of like Fat Elvis a lot better than that one, guys.
That's good stuff. Thanks, Alana. By the way, our Excel Energy fun facts brought to you by Excel Energy. And when it comes to your water heater, 120 is the magic number. Overheating your water beyond 120 can be wasteful and unsafe. Learn more about energy facts at responsiblebynature.com. And Fat Elvis, he's retired on that flip from Helps to Jimenez. Well, we're not allowed to call him that.
We can't call him that.
No, that's not right.
Big Puma, I like that
Big
one.
Puma, yep.
I think only his closest friends can call him Fat Elvis.
All right, my bad. Sorry, Lance. Who, by the way, he went to Rice, and he aspires one day, if the job is open, you read the same thing I did.
I read the same one, yeah.
To be the head coach, you're talking about baseball, at the University of Texas.
Well, he grew up in the Austin area, New Braunfels, down in Texas. Yeah, I went to Rice, but he would like to one day take over for Augie at the University of Texas.
Yep, Augie Garrido.
He figures Augie has about 4 or 5 more years, and that's what he's thinking he has.
He was a ridiculously good college baseball player. He's a ridiculously good major league player, so it goes to figure. But here's Carlos Lee. Carlos has had an interesting day at the plate. He's had to hit the deck about 5 times. And he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center field.
What I like, though, from Ubaldo tonight, 10 ground ball outs, only 4 fly ball outs, 3 strikeouts. Using your defense, working ahead. That just also shows me what kind of movement he has on that fastball.
Yeah, he's ahead 0-2. He stayed ahead most of the night. No walks in the game. Iannetta sets up away, and the slider is lifted to center field. Dexter Fowler waiting, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Ubaldo Jimenez. He has a shutout going, and the Rockies have staked him to a 9-0 lead.
It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam, and we're going to take a look at Todd Helton's home run. Notice when he goes to swing here, that back elbow drops down into its slot. That allows him to get those hips rotated, drop the barrel down, and get the elevation on the baseball. Just doesn't get any prettier than that. The follow through right on the sweet spot part of the bat for the home run back in the 4th inning. That was a Frost Brew Coors Light freeze can.
Well, an old friend's on the hill. Guy used to make his living in the National League West, most notably with the San Francisco Giants, Russ Ortiz. This call to the pen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. Ortiz missed all of last year with elbow surgery, and he has started 3 games for the Astros this year, and they've won all 3 that he started, and he actually pitched fairly effectively out of the bullpen. He has an ERA over 6, and right now he's working out of the pen. Dexter Fowler's 1 for 3. That's in there for a strike. We have
is it
a
Easter
party
egg
out there. Yeah, there's a search party for the baseball out there. They're well camouflaged. That's a strike also. It's 0-2. Come out from behind the tree and identify yourself.
Yeah. There they go. There he is. Is that Glenn?
Can't see.
I
His
can't
face
tell
is still
though.
hit.
Stand up, Glenn, please. I think it's him.
This ball pulled toward the hole. Matsui got over there and couldn't field it cleanly. Guys had 1 error coming in. That will be number 2.
That's just air, plain and simple. 3 hopper to the second baseman. He just booted it right off the heel of his glove.
Tulowitzki's got a couple of hits tonight.
It was Glenn. I thought it was just a quick glance.
But he didn't get the ball.
He's still looking.
One ball, 1 strike.
Hey fans, don't forget Coca-Cola value packs are the best deal in the ballpark. They include 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, and parking for only $49. Available for all May games. Don't miss out. Buy your Coca-Cola value packs today by calling 1-800-388-ROCK or online at ColoradoRockies.com.
It's fouled off near help. Ortiz broke into the big leagues with the Giants in '98. Won 17 games for the Giants in 2001. And then he went 21-7 with Atlanta in '03. Won 15 games with Atlanta the next year. Back with the Giants in '07. Got 12 ball games. This ball's fouled off. He's an all-star in '03. He's pitched in the postseason 4 times. Pitched in the '02 World Series for the Giants when they lost to the Angels. One, 2, strike 3.
Yep.
So Ortiz strikes out Tulowitzki. That'll bring up Helton.
Well, part of the reason why they moved Ortiz out of the rotation is just the struggles he's had there. This year he hadn't gone past the 5th inning in any of his starts. So,
but the team found a way to win.
Well,
in
they
those
did.
Starts.
But yeah, you might win that day, but then it taxes your bullpen for 2 or 3 days after that, and that's when you come in to find out, you know what, you might have won that game, but you lost the next 2.
And their pen has thrown more innings than any other team in the National League.
20 walks too, and 21 plus innings.
Like a partner, George Frazier, he's a former Sooner. Outside. 2-0. Todd, a fly ball to deep deep center, a line drive. Then a 2-run home run to right, and he walked on 4 pitches in his last at bat. Playing behind Fowler. So Rockies hitting the 6th with a big lead. And this ball pulled toward the hole, and the throw to second is in time. Nice play by Berkman. Now, if he's not playing behind him, that's going to sneak through the hole for a base hit.
Well, it is. In first inning, or excuse me, the first hitter of this inning in Troy, he was holding Dexter on at first base. Now with the 1 out, they go ahead and move back, and this allows him to have a little bit more range. The thing he also was able to do is make the strong throw to Miguel Tejada. And this is not an easy throw because he has to throw over the top of the base runner and Dexter Fowler.
Brad Hopp drives it high in the air to deep center field. Did he get enough of this? Yes, he did. 6 rows deep in dead center field for Brad Hopp, his 5th of the year. And the Rockies put 2 more on the board.
Pretty nice sound of that ball. The bat meeting there.
I'm telling you what, I know it's only 5-6 weeks in, but so far, he's an all-star.
Well, he is. And he's been the most consistent hitter. He's done everything so far during this early season. High leg kick, but then the launch of the hands and the full extension from those long, long, long arms.
Yeah, he was close a year ago. Here's Garrett Atkins. And that fastball's hot.
Sure, he was thinking when that ball left, you know what, that ball's pretty high. I'm not sure if I had enough. And the wind's died down a little bit from what it was earlier to start the ball game and even during batting practice.
Well, the Rockies went 3 games in a row not scoring more than 3 runs. They've got 11 tonight. That ball just mashed.
Michael Bourne's done a lot of that tonight. Just take off running to a dead sprint towards that fence.
Hang out on the warning track, Michael.
Yeah. Don't have to run as far.
There's the 1-1 on Atkins. Fastballs away, 2-1. We're talking about low-scoring games. The 3-2 win on Sunday. Rockies, the last team to produce a 1-run victory this year. This is in the air to fairly deep center field. That's the 7th longest stretch to start a season without winning a 1-run game since 1900. One of the longer ones, the 2000 Astros, went 12 games out of the gate. Brad Hopp, a 2-run 11-0 Colorado. 9 hits for the Rockies. They've hit 4 home runs. Ian Stewart has hit 2. And they finally found the baseball. And who they give it to? They give it to the pitching coach, Jimmy Wright. How's that work?
So, you know what? You didn't give it up the home run.
No. Pinch hitter, and this is a fly ball to deep left center field. It's our old friend Jason Smith. Oh. And Seth Smith pulls it in. No relation. This is the 8th organization. You and I were both talking to Jason before the ball game. 8 organizations now for Jason Smith.
And he's made the big leagues with all 8 of them.
How about that?
Yeah, and actually he did not get uniforms until last year from all the organizations. He'd forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was hitting, by the way, for Miguel Tejada. The plan early in the season was they were going to try to give Tejada some days off, more rest. You've heard that plan before. The guy named Helton, right? Well, guess what? Tejada's been out there virtually every inning. So with this game out of hand from Houston's standpoint, they get Tejada out of there. Jason Smith pinch hits. He's gone, and here's Hunter Pence, and that was not a good swing. It's 0-2.
By the end of it, we might see a couple other Astros out of here, too.
Yep.
Carlos Leaves, possibility.
Lance Berkman.
Berkman. Maybe Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's caught a ton.
Yeah. Well, and they just got Humberto Quintero back today off the DL.
Pence singled his last time up. Fastball at 97 just missed. Got to put a big shout out to a couple old friends of ours, Doug Moe and Bill Fickey just stopped by the booth. I told Moe he's got to keep coming back now. He's brought the Nuggets good luck and the Rockies good luck. On the ground up the middle, a base hit. Well, the Rockies have blown past the Taco Bell line. They have 7 and then some. So tomorrow, make your way to a Colorado Taco Bell location between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. Feed your fever with 4 tacos for $1 with a drink purchase. Only 1 order per customer. 4 tacos for $1. That's a steal.
My kids love that.
Good stuff. And they're growing boys. Cody, who we affectionately call the mayor, your youngest. Yep. You actually, you've had everybody at the ballpark the last few days. This ball is going to find a hole on the right side. And Pence is going to go first to third on that base hit by Blum. Second hit tonight for Blum.
Take a look and see where Ubaldo is as far as pitch count at the top of the 7th inning. Those are just glorious numbers. 91 pitches, or his next one will be his 91st pitch. Just really using the strike zone effectively. 56 strikes. And easy 91 pitches. You think about it, really only the 5th inning when he had to get out of the 1st and 3rd jam with nobody out. Other than that, it's been pretty much easy streak.
1 out. Pudge is at the plate. He's 0 for 2. And he's tardy with that swing. We were talking about the active hit leaders earlier, where Todd was sitting. Number 1 is Junior, Ken Griffey Jr., 26.97 coming into play tonight. Omar Vizquel, 26.70. And then Pudge, 0-2 at 26.32. Top 5, Gary Sheffield, and then Derek Jeter. Jeter at 2,571. It's more than any other Yankee. Here's the 0-2, and it's on the ground toward the hole, and it's going to sneak through an RBI base hit for Pudge Rodriguez on an 0-2 fastball at 95. So put another hit up for Ivan Rodriguez. And he has his 15th RBI of the year. Russell Ortiz, a good hitting pitcher. Yep. He's going to hit for himself with this game at 11-1.
Well, 4 of the 5 guys that you said on that list for me are first-time ballot Hall of Famers. Griffey, Vizquel, Jeter.
Yep, no question. In an age where we keep raising questions because of performance-enhancing drugs, but I agree with you. Outside on Ortiz. I want to shout out to all my kids, but if there's, let's see what time it is. Ground ball. It's almost 9 o'clock. Zach won a ball game tonight, so he may still be up. But Jacob, I know, is up, and he turned 11 today. So happy birthday, buddy. I love you.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2, and Ortiz is gone. That is strikeout number 4 tonight for Jimenez. And he's learning too, Huey, that he doesn't have to strike out a dozen every night.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, that's what he's shown tonight, to be able to get the ground ball outs that I mentioned earlier. That, you know what? The guys playing behind you get paid too to catch the ball when it's hit on the ground.
Kaz Matsui at the plate, 0 for 3, ground ball to second, strikeout, and a comeback. And that locked him up. Got another email. Chris asks, how did Ubaldo get back to the dominant form of pitching he's displaying now that wasn't there at the beginning of the year? He was there in his first outing. He was dominant, 7 shutout innings in his first game of the year down in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks, and it escaped him for a few starts. Huey?
Well, I look at a couple starts there where the one start in Chicago, just freezing cold, really had no control of anything there. But since then, the mechanics are right again. And that's where he has come back now to become the dominant pitching, because his mechanics are there. As he finishes his 7th inning, Rocky's up 11-1.
Yankees baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money, and by Burt Toyota, where the Tacoma is only $23,276. That's a different look of the 16th Street Mall and the Denver Pavilion. City of Buzz tonight, Tuesday night. Nuggets go tomorrow, try to close out that series with Dallas. And the Rockies leading 11-1 behind Ubaldo Jimenez. And they're the two stalwarts of the Rocky staff, Aaron Cook and Ubaldo Jimenez. Jason Smith's now in at shortstop, taking over for the guy who pinch hit for Miguel Tejada. 1-0 on Seth Smith. And Matt Belisle throwing 101 pitches unofficially for Ubaldo, so it's probably an evening for him.
Yeah, and it's been an easy 101 pitches. Get him out of there. What a fantastic performance tonight from Ubaldo. Let him already start getting some rest and thinking about his next start. What a hot smash there by Seth Smith.
Yeah, not an easy play. That ball came up high on Kaz Matsui, made the play. 1 out, and that'll bring up Chris Ionetta.
Hey folks, behind the scenes tours of Coors Field are available Monday through Saturday and give you the chance to see areas of the ballpark that you can't see during a ball game. Group and individual tickets are available. For tickets and information, please call 303-ROCKIES.
Pop fouling out of play. Well, one thing that's going to continue tonight, it looks like, and that's the May ERA going south. 2.81 ERA in May for the Rockies pitching staff is the lowest in the National League. And the opposition is hitting .254 against the Rockies this month. We're almost halfway through the month. That's the best in baseball. This ball is lined to deep left field, and this one Carlos Lee will not catch. But he's going to hold Chris Ionetta to a 375-foot single.
He said, I'm going to hit this so hard, you're not going to have a chance to go up and catch it against the wall. I'm just going to hit it right over the top of your head. Hanging slider, Chris stays on it, just belts it to left field. I mean, this ball was just hit right on the line, and it was hit so hard, Carlos Lee was able to play it off the wall and get the throw in. Keep Chris over at first base. That was a rocket.
And here's Mr. Home Run, Ian Stewart. If you're just joining us, in the 4th inning, he hit a rocket into the second deck in right field, a solo home run. Next inning, he came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs and hit a rocket into the fountains in center field. He's got a 5 RBI night. And he's behind 0-2.
Where Brad Hopp's kind of flown under the radar tonight with this 4 RBIs, what Ian Stewart's done.
A lot of guys have had good nights. Jimenez, Stewart, Helt. On for our Land Rover extraordinary play of the game. Ian Stewart, bases loaded, home run, always gets the nod. Land Rover built for the extraordinary.
Eden just able to get a piece of that ball, 1-2 fastball.
One out, Ionetta at first. Rockies hitting in the bottom of the 7th inning, enjoying this one. Strike 3. So Stewart is gone, and his second backwards K of the game. Of course, in the meat of that sandwich are the 2 home runs.
A lot of meat in that sandwich.
Yeah. Omar Quintanilla is going to hit for Jimenez. And by the way, for Stewart, the 5 RBIs matches a career best. Quintanilla got his first start of the year on Sunday. He was the 4th to last player who was on an opening day roster and had not been sent out to get a start among position players this year.
He's just in a tough spot. I mean, he's like the 25th guy on an American League roster. You got a couple guys in front of you, and Clint Barmas. We talked about Ian Stewart. Of course, Troy's going to be playing all the time. Garrett, I mean, where are you going to play him? That's just his role, but he's a very professional guy, goes about his business, and that's why he's still here and gets those spot starts occasionally. The other three guys, Greg Norton, John McDonald up in Toronto.
Oh, hold on, I got the third.
Go ahead.
Brett Carroll.
Well, you only knew that because he was just here. Gee, that was easy.
I have good short-term retention. 1 and 2 on cue. Outside 2 and 2.
Well, Norton hasn't even played an inning in the field. All his have been pinch hits. This Carroll goes in as a defensive replacement.
Yeah. And strike 3. So Ortiz gives up the long single to Iannetta and then strikes out Stewart and the pinch hitter Quintanilla. 7 innings complete at the old ballpark. Rockies leading 11-1. Looks a 2-run home run. That made it 3-0 Colorado. And then an inning later, Ian Stewart ripped a home run to right. First 2 home runs tonight for Stewart. His next one had 3 men on. Our momentum shift brought to you by Nissan. Get to the Nissan National Tent event for great deals on reliable vehicles. Rockies have made several changes. Ian Stewart moves from second to third. Omar Quintanilla comes into the ballgame at short. Tulowitzki steps out. Of course, Omar just pinch hit for the pitcher. Barmas comes in. Clint's at second base. And Garrett Atkins slides from third to first. Todd Helton comes out of the ballgame. Ubaldo, you know, is out of the game, and the new pitcher's Matt Belisle.
It's like a line change in hockey. Everybody off, everybody on.
Did a complete line change.
Yeah.
Took the defenseman off also.
They took all 5 guys out and said, we'll rearrange the furniture just a little bit. There's a good opportunity for the rest of the guys. Clint Barmas to get in there. Omar Quintanilla give Troy the rest of the ball game off with an 11-1 lead. Matt Belisle a chance to come in and get some work in a non-pressure situation.
Well, very good performance as you look at Michael Bourne from Ubaldo Jimenez. 7 innings, he allowed a run on 7 hits. No walks. Boy, you love to see that. 4 strikeouts. And I mean, he had complete control of this game. Forget the fact that the Rockies obviously have put a large number up offensively. I mean, Ubaldo had tremendous stuff.
Well, you think about it now. In his last 3 starts, 21 innings, and has only walked 4 guys.
Right, and 7 singles.
Yeah.
There was an infield hit, a few seeing eye hits. I mean, really, there was not a ball hit very hard tonight.
No, there wasn't. And that's the thing that really impresses me. And the other thing is what he was able to do with the guys as we see that ball foul is the veteran guys. The guys I talked about, and Carlos Lee. And Berkman was able to nick him for a single right up the middle, but Miguel Tejada, a couple weak ground balls.
I mean, controlled Matsui up top, strike out, a couple of comebackers, 0 for 4. And as you mentioned, Lee and Tejada, 0 for 6.
Well, and even getting Michael Bourne after he had let off with the base hit in that first inning, or not let off, but was able to get on base and then get the rundown and get him off the bags.
Yeah, Belial is going to give up a hit to Bourne here. Barmas did well to get to it. He would not have had a play even if he'd come up with that in his glove.
Well, not with the speed of Michael Bourne, especially hitting from the left side. Just chops it and takes off running. Clint made a valiant effort to try to get it, but you have to cheat in just a little bit closer when the guy does have speed like that, cuts down your range, just to be able to knock the ball down. It's a heck of an effort.
Lance Berkman coming up. Lance is 1 for 3. Michael wants to know, Ryan Zimmerman and the Nats on a big hitting streak this season. Who holds the Rockies' longest hitting streak record? That's a strike. By the way, we're going to show you the answer to your question. Dante hit 23 straight games in 95. Vinny hit 22 straight in 97. Larry Walker has a couple of hitting streaks beyond 20 games, 1 at 21, 1 at 20. And Eric Young and Dante Bichette back in 95, both with 19-game hitting streaks. Look at that. Bichette had a 23-game hitting streak that year and another 19-game hitting streak. And this is fouled off 1 and 2. Ryan Zimmerman got a hit in the first inning tonight for the Nats. He's now hitting 30 in a row. So he becomes the 44th player ever with a 30-game hitting streak.
Well, he's done it all, too. I mean, he's hit a home run the other night in the 8th inning to extend his streak, but singles in the first. That's amazing. 2 things. He's a right-handed hitter. The other thing is he doesn't have any speed.
No. This is sliced to left. It's going to hang up in the air for Seth Smith. And Lance Berkman is retired. And that'll bring up Carlos Lee. Well, the all-time hitting streak record, everybody knows this, Joe DiMaggio in 41, hitting 56 in a row. That was the year DiMaggio was the MVP and not Ted Williams, who hit 406 that year. Can you imagine you hit 406 and you're not the MVP?
Yeah, you're not MVP.
Moises Alou, the last guy to have a 30-game hitting streak. This is center field, hit well by Lee, going back Fowler, and you know what? He's just going to outrace the baseball. Have I said that he's a joy to watch play center field lately? Been a couple innings.
Well, at least 3 innings.
Yeah.
But it is, because to get this kind of jump and then make it look so easy. He's able to catch it, gather himself. Nothing makes it. The stride. Whenever you're running like that, a lot of times the ball starts to dance on you a little bit. Your head will bob. It doesn't happen with Dexter.
You know, Carlos Lee is a tremendous player. He's a tremendous hitter, but he did not bring a smart game plan into tonight's affair. He's hit the last 3 balls at Dexter Fowler. You just can't do that. Nope. Carlos got to hit it somewhere else. Good play by Atkins. Smith is retired. Solid inning for Belial. 11-1 Colorado. 4 home runs tonight for the Rockies. They're up 11-1 on Houston. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston upstairs. And it's time to check in with Alana Rizzo again with tonight's great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Alana.
Thanks very much, sir. I wanted to let our viewers at home know about a special book that has just been released today. It's called Heart of the Game by S.L. Price, and it's about the life and, unfortunately, the tragic death of former Rockies minor league coach Mike Coolbaugh's death. Not only about his life and his death, but really about his entire adventure going through the minor league system and how he and Tino Sanchez, the unfortunate young man that hit that foul ball that ended up killing him, their path in the minor leagues, their path trying to make it to the bigs, and then obviously Coolbaugh's transition to coaching in the minor league system. But I highly recommend it. The author, S.L. Price, a longtime writer for Sports Illustrated, it's called Heart of the Game, Life, Death, and Mercy in Minor League America. Again, released today. A must read, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you. And here's one of the things that has become a rule in Major League Baseball after the tragic death of Mike Coolbaugh on that line drive. You see all big league coaches at first and third wearing the helmet. And I look forward to that read by S.L. Price.
S.L.'s a very nice writer. He's just one of the best.
3-1 ground ball to second base. Matsui is going to throw out Dexter.
Fans, follow the Rockies on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com At Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play, real-time box scores, and video highlights. Visit ColoradoRockies.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase today.
Here's Clint Barmas, his first at bat. Manny Corpus is going to get an inning of work. Tula was 2 for 4 in the game. 4th straight multi-hit game for Troy.
Seeing that average start to climb back up into the 240s now for Tulo.
Two balls and a strike. We were talking about the hitting streaks. DiMaggio, of course, 56. The National League record is Wee Willie Keeler, who hit 44 straight in 1897. He actually hit in the last game of 1896, so it's 45 in the record books. A lot of people don't realize that. Pete Rose hit 44 in a row back at 78. Bill Dolan hit 42 straight in 1894 with Chicago. George Sisler 41 in a row. Ty Cobb hit 40 in a row. Those were all the streaks above 40. Paulie Molitor hit 39 in a row in 87. And then Jimmy Rollins recently, 05-06, he hit 36 in a row in 05, the final 2 games of the previous season. So it goes in the books as 38 in a row for Jimmy Rollins. 3-2 on Barmas.
I think that would be a hard one because you have to sit on it all winter. You know?
Well, I got a 2-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
Barmy covers that fastball high and in. You know who just passed away a few days ago at 92? Dom DiMaggio. You know, there was 3 DiMaggio brothers who played in the big leagues. Joe, the most famous, naturally. Dom and Vince DiMaggio. And Dom was quite a player. Swung on a miss. Dom had a 34-game hitting streak of his own back in 1949. Pretty good catcher on here of recent vintage. Benito Santiago hit 34 straight with the Padres in 87. And Benito could run. So you say, catcher, man, he had to earn it. Oh, Benito probably got a couple of leg hits also.
Oh, yeah, and that's where I was talking about Ryan Zimmerman. That's what's kind of unique about him is the ability to get a leg infield single.
Matt Merton is at the plate. This is the pitcher spot now.
These are the type of games, if you're Clint Hurdle, that, I mean, not only is it easy to manage because you're up 11-1, but you can also get some guys some at-bats and get some guys some innings of work in non-pressure situations, but you can keep them fresh. You can keep guys like Matt Mert, Omar Quintanilla out there, guys that haven't seen the field as much as everybody else.
You think about how tough that is for a guy like Merton, who was playing every day in Colorado Springs, and he'd much rather be here naturally. Yeah. Anybody would. But he was getting, 4 at-bats a night. He was hitting .411 when he was called up, and now he gets, a couple of bats a week.
Yeah, but the other thing now is the next, 4 out of the next 5 games, the Rockies are going to be facing left-handed pitching. So he might have an opportunity to get a start here or there in one of those 4 games. And that'll pay dividends what he's doing tonight and being able to get an at-bat, even though it is off a right-handed pitcher, still getting into that box and in front of 26 or 23,000 fans like we have tonight. Seeing pitches will help you tomorrow or the next day or the day after.
Yeah, 3 in a row, because you have Hampton tomorrow, then you have Wandy Rodriguez on Thursday afternoon, and I think Paul Maholm is throwing for Pittsburgh. This ball lined to the gap in left center field. This will run all the way to the deepest portion, that corner at 424, and Merton has himself a stand-up double.
Well, Matt can hit. I mean, there's no question about that. Another hanging slider from Russ Ortiz. Just stays on the baseball and drives it into the gap. And with the overspin, the topspin, able to roll to the wall and kick to the left. And an 11-1 ball game, you really don't want to rub it in. I mean, Matt might have had an opportunity to go for 3 there, but you just go ahead and shut it down. There's 2 outs.
And that'll bring up Brad Hopp. Brad has had a perfect night. Double, walk, single, 2-run home run. Average at 352 for Hopp. He's got a 4 RBI night. You have 4 RBIs and you're not the RBI leader in the game for your team. Stewart's got a 5 RBI night. Brad's ability to hit with 2 strikes has gotten better and better, and that's one of the reasons you see him where he is right now. I'm not suggesting he's going to hit 350 for the season, but Brad's a much better hitter than he's ever been. This is going to be another hit for Hopp, and guess what? Stewart's not alone with 5 RBIs. Here comes Merton. 5 ribbies tonight for the former LSU All-American Brad Hopp.
Well, it's almost a carbon copy of what he did earlier in the ball game back in the first inning. Now he's 7 for 11 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Just another instance where he's not trying to overpower the baseball. Almost the same swing. I mean, we could have run the same one back from the first inning to that at bat here in the 8th inning, and you wouldn't have known the difference.
A career high 5 ribbies for Hopp. 12-1 Colorado. Atkins chips it foul. All right, I have a quick trivia question for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
And all you Rockies fans out there, listen up. We're talking about hitting streaks and the fact that Ryan Zimmerman hitting in 30 games now for the Nationals, one of 44 players all time to have a 30-plus game hit streak. There are 2 former Rockies. They didn't do it when they were in a Rockies uniform. We told you that earlier. 23 games, the best Rockies streak by Bichette. But 2 Rockies, former Rockies, have hit 30 straight or more. Can you name the 2?
All right, I'll write it down.
One, if you think about, you may be able to get. The other one surprised me. I wouldn't have been able to get it. No, you wrote those 2 down. That's not right. Neither one. I'll give you a hint. Jim Armentrout, our director tonight, threw out Ellis Burks. If you wrote that down at home, great idea, but incorrect.
All right.
You want one hint on one of the guys?
Sure.
He played for the Rockies and the team the Rockies are playing tonight.
I'm still thinking.
Keep working. Here's the 3-1, and it is chopped to third, and a throw by Blum to Matsui, and that ends the inning. We'll give you the answer when we come back in the ninth. The Rockies enjoying a 12-1 lead. Southwest has low fares with no hidden fees, where what you see is what you pay. By Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By Big Brothers Big Sisters. Donate your car and you'll get a free tow, a tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by Mike Shaw Chevy Saab, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. Well, it figures to be a most pleasant post-game report tonight, and Tom Helmer is the general out in center field. Tom?
Drew, it's going to be a hoot, and with the international night here at the ballpark, we'll keep it going. We'll go into the International House of Rockies after the game, get some sound. Dominican dominance. We'll break down Ubaldo's performance tonight. And American Beauty, Ian Stewart, killing it tonight. It's all coming up on the post-game show. Drew?
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you. See marched out behind you hard at work. That's inside on Hunter Pence. Manny Corpus is in the ballgame to throw the ninth inning, and Matt Merton has stayed in the ballgame in right field. They're going to give Brad Hopp a break. All he's done tonight is throw out 4 hits, including a home run, 5 RBIs. And this is on the ground to short. Omar Quintanilla with the great hands throws him out. All right. You have one final opportunity. 2 30-game hit streaks by former Rockies. Nothing. Huh?
Oh, no. I got one.
He threw out Juan Pierre also during the commercial break. It's not Juan Pierre.
Willie Taveras.
Willie Taveras is one. Remember, his rookie year, he hit 30 straight.
Yeah, for the Astros.
For the Astros. The other one you would never get in a million years.
Okay, throw it out there then.
Sandy Alomar Jr.
I wouldn't have got that.
No, I wouldn't have gotten it had I not read it.
Good thing you told me.
Sandy back in '97 hitting 30 straight for the Indians. Probably some people forgot that he played briefly for the Rockies also. Jeff Blum at the plate, 2-0. Blum's had a good night. Couple of hits against Ubaldo. In fact, he hit the ball solidly against Ubaldo. I mean, the hits were clean singles. 2-1. You know, one guy they didn't re-sign after last year. They just figured it was going to cost a little bit too much. Didn't offer Ty Wigginton arbitration. He had 20-plus home runs last year for Houston.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at that one, just from the power that he's able to produce. And I mean, a good guy in the clubhouse is just one of those things. They're afraid that they were going to have to not overpay him, but pay him too much, and they had other needs that they needed to fill.
This is a flare to short left, and a sliding grab by Seth Smith. You know what? He's really made some nice plays this year out in left field.
Well, he has. I mean, that's not an easy play. We've seen him go over to the line, make plays that way. And this one, he comes in and has to slide at the last second, make the catch right above the ground. Come in, slide, get up, pop it, throw it into your glove, into the hand, and that's it.
Humberto Quintero off the disabled list, pinch hitting for Pudge. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Houston down to their 27th out. And now they're down to their last strike. Oh, 2 on Quintero. And that is strike 3. Ball game. Manuel wasn't even sure. Nice ball game for the Rockies off